Did he finally give up the crutches?
No, he still wears the brace and he wears shorts and stuff, and so like the brace is exposed, and he's always putting the brace foot up on like a chair in the bar. I'm like, who are you trying to get sympathy from? Our waitresses? Like,
I saw he was at was it Disneyland the other day, or
yeah,
with a girl.
He has a girlfriend.
He has his girlfriend.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on for?
For a couple months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Finally settled down. That's
good for him. I'm proud of him.
Who's
going to be our quarterback?
I said it was going to be you.
That probably makes the most sense.
No, I said you should have Brandon be quarterback.
No.
If it's flag football, like we're obviously going to have like ground rules.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I can maneuver.
We have to make sure that everyone has insurance, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's flag. It'll be
I don't
fine.
think Brandon has health insurance.
He does.
Well, it's not. You don't legally have to have it anymore, so you don't have to pay the fine. So he
right?
just
No,
does
I'm
it.
just saying that if he breaks an arm or something,
he's going to be paying out of pocket.
He's going to be paying out of pocket.
I mean, if anybody's going to take it too seriously, it's going to be Brandon.
He is.
Yeah.
We went to a San Diego State game a couple weeks ago. It was just like we were just. He brought the football, of course, and I reminded him. I'm like, hey, do you remember the last time that we threw the football together? It was actually we were all there. It was for the
Jacksonville game for the Chargers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was just chucking it.
Yeah.
So here we're just trying to do like a back and forth thing, and he's just hucking it. I'm like, what are you doing this for?
Hey, Brett Favre, calm down.
Well, I mean, it would be different if it was hucking it on an arc. You know what I mean? Where you have to like chase after it.
Yeah.
But it's a straight bullet.
Yeah. No, he pretty much bullets it over my head. I'm like, well, I need to run like a 2.540 to go catch up with that.
Like, can you just throw me the ball?
Fastest hands.
Can you just throw it to my hands?
I know. I said I had a beer in my hand. I'm like, I'm simply just trying to
touch pass it.
This is called dad ball.
No, each time he does it,
the dad bod.
He does the 3-step drop. He just, I'm like, calm down.
Throwing it like Phillip Rivers from the shoulder.
No, I was gonna say like what's that from Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh, like, Uncle Rico.
Brand's Uncle Rico out there in the parking lot.
Yeah, no, you guys. I heard DJ's gonna play, so
yeah, we'll get DJ. We'll see if Chad. We'll try to get Chad.
What are we gonna do? Run the ball the whole time?
Well,
Chad's probably more athletic than I'm thinking.
I was saying in the fine words of Booger McFarlane, not Booger McFarlane. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Booger McFarlane. We're just gonna dink and dunk. We'll just dink and dunk the whole way down. We got some big guys.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have a lot of big guys.
We'll just throw it up high. Just throw it over Philly's head.
At least, hopefully, we'll have some good defensive players.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. Well, Brandon, I can see him. He's just gonna get really into it.
Well, like Ryan and I will be able to shut him down.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's really just Brandon. What are we gonna do about Zuniga? Like we gotta.
No, you gotta worry about me. I got for sure hands.
I'm just gonna say,
whenever we play like football, I'm always like the tight end.
I already have the defensive game plan for Brandon for Zuniga. I already have it
out there.
I already have it mentally in my head.
You got to play up top.
Yeah.
You got to cover the underneath. Play up top. You know.
You just can't let him beat you.
Plus, with James as a quarterback, just read his eyes the whole time. He's not going to be that good. He's not going off multiple reads. He's going to be like Case Keenum in this game.
We're such close friends that we have like a telepathic connection. Like he just knows.
Just like, I fucking hate you.
That's just how we roll. We
hate this guy. God damn it.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I need to get the flags.
They put Haskins in.
That's surprising.
Sucks for your fantasy team.
Well, they played together at Ohio State.
That doesn't mean anything right
They
now.
got that rhythm. They didn't play together in that Week 5 matchup against the Giants.
Oh, you're worried about
there's a guy that should be starting.
That guy's been in the league forever.
Colt McCoy?
Yeah.
I know. He was Vince Young's.
Oh, that's good for my fantasy, though. That's good right
predecessor.
there.
Wow.
Like, think about that.
Xavier Rhodes just went into the medical tent. That's good for me. So you know
terrible
what I mean?
karma. Wow. You might want to knock on wood.
Sorry.
No.
He's not injured. He's just out for a
Um,
second. Oh, man.
Bless you. It's sad that Terry McLaurin hates the nickname Scary Terry. Like,
Does he?
He wants people to not stop using it. I'm like, that's one of the best nicknames.
That's a great nickname.
I love that.
I love that nickname.
No, he's like trying to tell people to like stop using it because even in like the broadcast they'll say it and he
doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it. I'm like, well, I was going to change. You got the Rick and Morty reference.
If I wasn't so superstitious, I would have changed my fantasy team name.
To what?
I changed. I don't know if Enrique saw, but there was a brief moment where I changed my fantasy name this year.
Did you?
Yeah, it was just quick enough that it hasn't impacted anything that's happened.
It was the Ducks.
Oh.
Because that's our favorite NHL
That's
team.
not our favorite NHL team. We're Canucks fans through and through.
Have you guys been to a Goals game?
Yeah. Not this season.
I haven't been to one in a while. I don't really like going to them because I can't see the puck.
Oh. I usually go there for like the $2 Bud Light.
That's when we went.
Yeah, $2 Fridays.
That's when we went. But yeah, it's I like hockey, but on the television I can see everything that happens.
Yeah.
When I'm there, I can't see what is going on. And then all of a sudden the buzzer rings and I'm like, great, I missed it. Yeah. Did you play with a smaller item?
Right.
Which is the weirdest thing because I can see a baseball no problem.
Is it because it's white?
No, it's because I played baseball for the longest time.
Well, the baseball seems to stand out more as opposed. I understand the puck getting lost. Like it's
like a pinball machine
because it's constantly moving. It's not like a baseball where you're
like a pitcher has it, he's throwing it. There's one person that's
you know where it's going to go.
Yeah, you know where it's going. As opposed to like a puck, it's like moving all over the place, and you're trying to keep eyes on like the players, and then you see it. You lose sight of it, and then it gets hit really quick, and you're just like.
I have the utmost respect for hockey players as an athlete, but like I can't see the puck. It drives me nuts.
Oh yeah.
That's probably why it's
Ducks fly together. Ducks fly forever.
I am getting the jersey.
We're Canucks fans.
Canucks fans.
Yes.
Have you been to a Canucks
podcast? Game? I have when I was a kid. When I was younger.
Did they win?
I don't. It was a long time ago. I don't remember.
It should be like the best. It should be like the best day of your life.
I think it went to sleep.
What the heck? That's what happens when you got Dell computers running around. What kind of operation are you running here at Three Amigos in a Podcast?
I told you, we're now a part of the Philly Phil Entertainment.
That explains the.
So you know what I mean? He pays our bill. We got bought by the Philly Phil Entertainment Company. You know,
no, he ain't buying out anything.
No, we didn't.
Oh, I was like, what?
We didn't. Don't worry.
I was like, what are you doing to us?
No.
He
doesn't have enough money.
I don't know if I can rock a shirt with Philly's face on it. No. I'm not there yet.
Which, as it is, he might be running his own podcast now. So.
Whew! Shots fired.
Shots fired.
All right, Ryan, you gotta fix your mic real quick, and then we'll get into it. And then bring it
Enjoy
closer
the
to
show.
your face.
Enjoy the show,
boys. Let's get to it. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Lights, camera, action.
What's up, everybody? We are the Three Amigos and a Podcast, Season 2, Episode 20. We have a very special guest,
the specialist of
this evening, because Sir Brandon is away at Disneyland. Hey, shut up so I can introduce you. Jeez, God, it's like his first time.
It's like my first time. How many times have I been on the show? I know. Am I your only guest?
The star
Chad
and
host
really talk, of the All Bad Podcast, and the loser of this week's fantasy matchup against yours truly, the undefeated Mr. Enrique.
What's up? How's it going?
It's going well.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know about that, Dean.
Hey,
I mean, it's looking good right now, but
we don't have a lot of rivalries.
I was expecting a lot more from tonight's game, I feel like I can come back from that.
I was. I mean, Dalvin Cook's putting it down, but I thought that Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I definitely thought you did it, and I saw that you picked him up last week. You were thinking ahead.
I was. I thought this was a good matchup.
You're welcome.
Did you drop him?
No, I told you to pick him up last week.
I think, yeah.
Yes, we were talking about it like right before the podcast, where I said one of you guys needs to pick up Kirk Cousins, and now
I picked him up after he had his amazing game. Last Sunday.
He's been on fire ever since they called him.
It's in this game. Like, I mean, I know it doesn't look good from a fantasy standpoint, but like when you're playing the Redskins, like you just got to run the ball and keep pushing.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets a touchdown or something.
He hasn't fumbled the ball.
He hasn't done.
He doesn't done anything bad.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
Hey,
he's got 173 passing yards.
Yeah. It's tough, but at least he hasn't turned the ball over. That's all.
Brandon can do that in one pass.
Oh my god.
Love you, Brandon. Even though you're not going to listen.
I know, right? The only person in the podcast.
I always love it. I was
listen.
like, oh, I listen to you guys' podcast. I didn't listen to it. I'm like,
he's very, very honest about the fact that he doesn't listen to it.
well, do you listen to your own pod? Like, do you listen to the podcast after the fact? Pretty much once I put it out in the universe, I kind of don't want to listen to my voice.
Like on weeks that he's out, he'll listen. You know what I mean? Like
I'll
Brandon's
listen,
out
I'll,
at least.
like more or less to like get us the listens. I'll put it on for at least 10 minutes or so. Like if I'm doing cardio or something, or if I'm going from the gym to work where I know I'm going to be in the car for like 15 minutes, it's like I'll put it on.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's dependent on what they're talking about on 97.3, and sometimes it's bullshit. Yeah. Like today they were just getting angry callers in about Jayce Tingler. So I was like, I'm going to listen to our podcast from last week.
Yeah, and we'll get to all that Padre news in a little bit. But yeah, at first, we don't really have a lot of rivalries in our fantasy league, but I'm really trying to manufacture something over here between us and Enrique.
Well, I think really what it comes down to is that we're both like the engineers of our podcast, so I can see that aspect. And of course, for the longest time, both you and I were first and second. We were neck and neck. Yeah. Undefeated in our fantasy league
this year. And then I feel like over the course of our fantasy league's tenure, both you and I have just kind of been like, it's been like middle of the road. It's like middle of the road, bottom tier.
No, you've always been in that.
Hey, I said middle tier, bottom of the road.
I can see your guys as a rivalry. Like Brandon always tries to throw Davy Jones on me like he's my rival, and I'm like,
it's mainly because he's just trying to like play matchmaker. He's like, well, this person goes with that person. Like,
don't put me in the same sense. The dude last year didn't even pay attention to his team.
My brother and I, for the longest time, had like a rivalry.
Yeah, and but that's only because you guys were brothers.
Yeah, but then we kind of like set that aside because I realized that it made things so uncomfortable at their house, like at my brother's house. So just like, all right.
I've always felt like your dad is my rival in our fantasy league.
Right. I would agree with that.
I just feel like he gets me when I feel like I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, right.
And like vice versa. Like every time like I match up against him, like whoever's projected to win drastically loses in the wrong direction.
Right. Yeah, that.
But I don't hate your dad.
I hate him.
Speaking of fantasy,
he beat me last week.
We got into a pretty interesting discussion with Brandon this week about some potential rule changes, things that were possibly going to be brought to the table.
That's right.
So we just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on, what you think of some potential changes going on to our 10-year anniversary next year?
I don't know. Yeah,
not 10 year.
I think I started.
I think it might have been like I think we're at like maybe 10. Well, this is our 9th, or maybe we're at 9 or 10.
Start a little bit earlier with Brandon?
No, we started.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we all started together. I thought we started in like 11.
I missed a year too. Like there was one year I was looking back at it where like Brandon didn't invite me back to the league.
No.
Yeah,
there was one. Yes, there was one year you were left out. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
it was weird. I have no idea what happened. Do you know what happened?
It wasn't.
He's on Small World right now.
He wasn't auto renewing the league at that time, so he was texting everyone out like to say, "Send me your email." And then I think it got to 8 emails before he realized that he didn't text you first. Like it was because it was like a year that Jason was in, and then it was like
I do remember him saying
it was just like he just kept texting.
He had my wrong email. Even until this year, he's had my wrong email. He had like the Roadrunner one, and I was like, no, I don't use that.
I've never.
Yeah.
Didn't know Roadrunner had email.
But anyways, the potential rule changes that we've talked about with Brandon are a keepers league, a one-man keepers league.
One-player keepers league.
I like the idea.
Half-point PPR.
And then Brandon keeps bringing up this fab thing.
Yeah, that seems to be a big thing. Like, I listen to a couple of fantasy football podcasts, and they constantly bring up, like, the fab budget and stuff, and I'm kind of like, what is that? So...
Yeah, I mean... So, yeah, like you were saying, what is it? The fab budget is... basically it's like you have $100 for the year, and you spend it on waiver pickups and whatever kind of ads that you use.
Yeah, so instead of the waiver like flipping over, it's just a bid. So everybody gets to bid on a player.
Right.
But I was looking at it this week before. So sorry. I didn't raise my
you're
hand.
fine.
And like, what's his name from the Lions this past week?
Ty Johnson.
He was like a $30 like average fab, and I was like, "Fuck this! I am not doing fab. I don't want to do it." Well, sorry, Brandon.
My only thing is like, okay, Enrique, you're kind of in this boat too.
Right.
I like to bet on sports.
Yeah.
I like to gamble. Like I like sports gambling. You know what I mean? Like
it.
I spend money and stuff. Like I have a limit on it. I'm not over here losing thousands of dollars and all that kind of stuff.
But it's fun. It keeps you interested.
Funny. Exactly. It keeps me interested in what's going on. With the fab budget, it's like we're not actually betting on week to week. Like fab's fun for those, you know, where you set your lineup each week and you have to spend X amount to like put these players in there kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where it comes from. But in the same sense, I'm not opposed to it. I just think it's, if we do, our league fees have to match what our fab budget is.
I think that, well, that was the other thing Brandon's bringing up is the $100 for the league fees for next year.
Big baller league.
Big baller.
The other, like with the whole like fab budget, I didn't really like that it's, you know, not necessary to the players who are, or to the owners essentially, who are not picking up players week to week. So like if I bid on a player and I don't get it, I still have $100 for next week, and that's fine. I can still pick up players as I go. But there's really like no incentive to pick up a player if you don't see like value anymore.
Well,
so,
that's
like,
the other thing. It's like not every player you have to pay for.
And I get that, but like let's just say like, you know, at the beginning of the year, Mattinson was a free agent.
Yeah.
And you have Dalvin Cook, so you're thinking, okay, well, there's value there, so I'm going to put a $10 like, you know, budget on him or bid on him.
Yeah.
And then somebody else goes in and it's like, ooh, like Dalvin Cook's for sure going to get hurt this year. I'm going to put $40 on him. So like it's a weird way of valuing players, but then it gets into like how much do you value that person?
Right.
Yeah.
Because like we've talked about it, and like Brandon was getting on me last week because he said you're devaluing your players, and I was like, it's fantasy football. Like I can't devalue their production.
Yeah.
Like,
He was definitely getting. And then I sent him a trade just because
Just to mess with him?
Just to mess with him. I'm like, I think a lot of it is just trolling, but then my brother just got heated over it. Like this is.
he was definitely getting upset about some of them.
Mad
He's
about.
like, seriously, you're gonna be doing this to me? I'm like, it was a joke because
Yeah.
I just received trades from both Ryan and Dean. I'm like, calm
In
down.
my defense, my trades were not absurd. I was offering my
Some
best
of mine were
player
absurd.
for like maybe like we're second or third best player.
Right.
So then it becomes a like, are you connected to this player? Like, do you feel like, you know, you want to give this person up? And then I can understand if somebody says no.
Yeah.
But like it was just funny because I would send somebody a trade and I'd get something back where it was just like I was telling him today. I sent Chad one and it was pretty fair. I offered Jordan Howard and TJ Hawkinson for Everett and Penny. So
Yeah, that's actually not a bad trade.
So it's definitely a plus for me in the tight end, but I'm losing Jordan Howard, who's a huge increase over Rashad Penny.
Right.
He responded with Sonny Michel for Everett and Penny, and I was like, that seems a little far-fetched. But with the other propositions, I do like the Keepers League, at least the one-man Keepers League.
I'm a huge fan of the Keepers League.
Really, what it comes down to is just establishing a league that's going to be going on for like the long term.
Yeah.
Like, no, because for the most part, our core is all together, but then every once in a while we lose one or two. We switch out one player for another.
Like, I feel like the fringe guys are like Alfredo and like
I was
Chad.
ready to kick him out. I know you might listen, Alfredo. I was going to kick you out.
Alfredo doesn't listen to this.
I know,
he doesn't even know who we are.
No, he doesn't.
He barely
But I
knows
know
who
James
Brandon is.
James might listen, so.
Well, that's the other thing. Alfredo can't get kicked out because it's going to be James Jr. Like James is going to be like, oh, I have another friend that wants to play. I'll take two teams.
Well, we almost had another, and I wasn't opposed to this person playing, but he was going to fill in for DJ's position.
It was the trainer guy?
Yeah. And it actually what happened is Brandon sent the request to Chad, but he had also sent a request to DJ too, but DJ never responded until after the fact, and then
DJ was like,
are we in? And he's like, whoa, I was surprised from that. And it actually ended up working out. I mean, I might have been for the better for my sake that DJ didn't join the league, but
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like our core right now, we can stay with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's kind of intermingled. Everybody knows. You know what I mean? So it's kind of.
What about your boy Chad? What about
Chad? I feel like he'll stay in it. You know what I mean? Chad's a good guy. He's still he's just one of those friends that you can always hit up.
Right.
You know,
we're gonna give him a mulligan on this year for sure. I mean,
for sure.
Like I said, when you look at his draft, I wouldn't have panned it out being 0-7.
No.
Kind of like the Redskins this year.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
I wouldn't have looked at their lineup and been like, they're gonna start off the year 1-7 or 1-6.
So who's gonna have a better record next year, Chad or Alfredo? So they're both defeated.
It's really tough to say. I mean, think that Chad has a better knowledge of football than Alfredo, but the plus side, like Alfredo always auto drafts.
That's the thing too.
But Alfredo won't be able to auto draft next year.
Alfredo won 3 years ago. He won the championship, which I've never won the championship.
Well, that was a weird instance because he won it on auto draft, then DJ won it on auto draft.
Right.
So it was a weird,
And it's difficult having a conversation with somebody in your league about how to manage their team when their comeback is always, how many fantasy championships have you won? I mean, I haven't won one in our league. I've won others in other leagues, but I'm like,
I've won before,
damn it. The CFL.
Check out my Yahoo account.
Check it out. Yeah, you can see the medals.
Look at my medals.
Exactly. But that gets me heated every time. It's just like, well, how many fantasy championships have you won? You're like, damn it. How do you come back from that?
Shut up. Anyways, let's move on. Enrique, All Bad Podcast, 1 year is this week. I haven't heard anything on social media. You guys are always killing the game in social media. I haven't heard shit. What's going on? Where do we have to be this week?
Well, the thing about that is,
when
you do podcasts, and you do podcasts with people that are not the most reliable.
Yikes.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's one of those things. You guys had a really good 1 year anniversary. I have to admit, I was awesome. It was awesome to be there for that moment.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was fun.
It was a good moment. Yeah. It wasn't too big. It wasn't small. It was just right. My podcast.
It was a Dr. Seuss book.
It was
the three
it's a
Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, it was a Goldilocks episode.
Right. Well, those that are familiar with the All Bad Podcast, my co-host is all about doing things big, which...
Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't know Philly Phil, then it's never heard of you.
And his idea of having a 1 year anniversary is having a live podcast in a nightclub that is actively open, which...
He's not really serious about that. You've mentioned that a few times, but I've never heard him say it.
No, he's very serious about that, and that's why we haven't had a podcast, and we haven't set on the 1 year anniversary. So we're actually not having a podcast this week because it's kind of just undecided. And
dude, I mean, we gotta troll hard.
Troll us.
We gotta troll the All Bad Podcast hard. What's the handle? At All Bad
Podcast.
At All Bad Podcast is getting that troll job all week.
You know what? I don't care.
Happy 1 year.
It's fine. I'm jumping on to a new podcast, so it's fine.
What's that one called?
I'm actually stealing the member of your podcast that cursed a lot. So
you can't steal Brandon?
Yeah.
For what?
Don't worry, we're working on something new.
Oh my God.
No. Brandon's about to get kicked out.
I'm kidding. He's like, I don't even like podcasts. I'm just on one.
He's like, it's an excuse for me to hang out with my friends.
Oh yeah, that's what he uses.
That's how I sold it to you guys.
I know.
I used that at first, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's...
You want to hang out with Philly that much?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Honestly, it's tough. For those out there that are considering, which everyone's considering, every person that I talk to about podcasting, that are into podcasting, they're always like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about starting a podcast.
I've never met anyone. Have you?
What do you
No.
mean? Do you know anyone that has a podcast?
One girl I work with has one.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me.
Called
about
Ghost
One of
Hose.
Shaylee's
Ghost
employees, but I don't even
Ghost
know him.
Hose.
Ooh, shout out to Ghost Hose.
Yeah, it's all about Ghost Hose.
But
yeah,
whatever.
Ryan, how's your week? I know that's usually how we start things here. We like to get personal with each other and to ask us how our week's going.
Oh, this is not even
so
personal. If you want to ask
I'm not sleeping well because the dog all of a sudden doesn't like his crate.
Well, I mean, come on, man.
That's a sad thing to do. I had a dog for a little bit before I killed it, and I'm kidding.
That wasn't a good joke at
I'm
all.
sorry.
I was like, what?
I'm sorry that dogs are, but yeah.
And our special guest is Michael Vick this week. No, I was kidding.
No, but when you put a dog in a crate, and it's just like the idea, you associate cages with like
Prison.
Exactly.
That's how I do it.
And you
We've
see,
always
I
created
know
our
your
dogs,
family's
though.
always done it, so it's just a thing that you guys know how to do, and you guys are good at it. Like for me, I've always had a problem creating dogs. I know
The
it's
thing
good for
is-
them and it's good
well,
for
and
behavior.
It's very
It's just-
dependent on like how it's presented.
right?
And so that's the tough part is that we had it very easy for the first couple weeks where he just got in his crate and fell asleep. Now, like he's getting this like weird like anxiety.
It's confusing because it's like he goes in for like an hour or two and then one of you's
no,
home.
at night.
Oh,
at
but
night.
I mean in the daytime though, right? Like he
Yeah,
goes
we'll put
for
him
a
in there.
second and
Yeah,
then-
but now he's been
yeah.
crying in his crate at night, so that's been
Gosh, dog cries too.
a struggle. But we're contemplating all the options
hate
right
that.
now. But and his is like a shrill. So then like I took him out of the yes, but louder. So I took him out of his crate and like slept on the couch and he like laid next to me last night. So I haven't been sleeping well this week.
Oh,
So
dude, just Ryan
Do you like
Ryan
put a
having
blanket over it? Eventually, you just do the blanket over it.
Ryan having a baby is gonna be the greatest thing ever.
dude, I was getting so pissed off last night. I was like, thank God this isn't a child.
I
Dude.
think babies would be not to take anything away from like parents and everything, but I feel like there's a baby is difficult. Don't get
But
me
there's
wrong.
things that you
It's not
understand
easier
about
than a
it.
dog. Like you can't just take a baby out of its like
No.
hand.
Yeah, but
what do they call it?
I will never
Crib,
say
and
that-
put it on the ground and
But
be
the
like,
thing is, like, I associate baby crying with like, oh, it's time for me to just do my thing. But with a
dog, you don't know
What's
what the
your
fuck's
thing?
wrong.
a dog
What's your thing?
shut up, a dog crying in a crate. You're just like, you hear a dog cry. It's just there's a part in your back of your head. You're just like, oh man.
if you feel like animal abuse in a bit
Yes.
in a way, like
No,
just
I
like
don't feel like that at all.
We
I feel
don't
like
put
he
babies
needs to
in a
shut
cage.
up.
We don't put babies in a cage. I mean, we put
in
them in
a
a crib.
way, yeah.
Yeah, but
We
it's just
kinda
like
do.
they cry because we're like, oh, we know they need something.
Can you just address what your thing is? Are you using like? Are you?
I don't have a baby yet.
Are you milking these babies?
No.
I got nipples,
I
Fokker. Can you
got
milk me?
nipples, Fokker. Want to milk me?
But yeah, well, sorry you're not getting enough sleep, right? I'm
It's
sure.
all
I'm
good.
sure Jax will start. We'll
We'll
grow
figure
out
it
of it
out.
a little bit. Yeah, my week was good. We'll just move through it. MLB, baseball, kind of a big day today for the Padres. A little bit of confusing
Well, did you
day
address what happened last week, real quick, on last weekend?
in regards to.
The playoffs, ills.
No, we don't. I'm done with baseball. Did you notice how I didn't even put it on there? I didn't put it on the show notes.
Well, I'm just
not.
saying, like it's a very important. Like who's
No,
playing
I'm not.
in the World Series right now?
I don't care.
So-
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I'm skipping right over it.
So for our listeners who are baseball fans, the Yankees were eliminated in Game 6 of the playoffs by a walk-off home run by none other than the famous Jose Altuve.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat what I sent to our group chat, but I just can't believe that you give it up to that guy.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
He
Like,
said, build that wall.
I did not say that. I did not. 100% did not say that. But I just can't believe, like, I don't want to go on a Yankees rant right now because it just brings, like, I'm done with baseball. Like, I haven't watched a single inning of the World
How can you be
Series.
done with baseball?
It's been a pretty crappy World Series.
Every single notification that comes through, ignore, get rid of it, swipe right away. Don't even read it. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this from a standpoint that you can like try to understand, because you're a Yankees fan second to being a Padres fan, so it's not.
So
He
yes.
needs to have a good team to.
So I'm
going
going to tell you why this one hurts
No.
so much.
Hold on a second,
Okay.
because last year the Chargers got scraped by the Patriots in the playoffs, and I wasn't devastated because I wasn't surprised. Were you honestly surprised that they lost to the Astros?
Yes, I was.
Oh.
I was surprised of the way that series went.
They put up a good
I
fight.
didn't I see that. Like, I disagree with you. I don't think they put up that good of a fight. Like, you go down 3-1, and then you expect to dig out of that hole.
Right.
Like, you got to at least split the series. And it's tough because
They were one pitch away from splitting the series, though.
but trying to do a reverse kind of matchup of the series, like a 3-1. It's hard to build.
Well, I
back
think
from
really
that.
what I think.
But
yeah.
Aaron Boone just. Like, I was a huge fan of him, how he handled the division series series. I was a huge fan of how he handled his first couple games, especially the second game with Tanaka just throwing lights out and
I know
not
where
really
you're
using
going
his
with this.
bullpen. But the way that he just kept going to his core guys. You're rostering 13 pitchers. Yeah, you're throwing Green out there. You're throwing Chapman every day. Those are players that you don't need to see, especially after an analytically based team like the Astros. You need to limit the amount of time that they see your relievers. You can't be having them. You can't have them.
It was a
throw
slider.
multiple innings.
It was a slider, wasn't it?
Yes. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can't keep rolling him out there and not expect him to get raked. Like, this is what they do. This is the numbers that they look for.
It was something that Aroldis Chapman got away with when he played for the Cubs because they played against the Indians in the World Series. And the Indians weren't as smart as the Astros.
No.
I agree with what you're saying. I just think that when the game's on the line, you have to go to your best player. And so in that moment, you want Chapman against
you want
Altuve.
the guy that's supposed to.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just frustrating. And this one hurt a lot because I just really felt like I needed a win. Like, it's been a tough decade for us.
I'm
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm really disappointed that we didn't get to this matchup though, like prior to the World Series starting, because I really and if it was the Yankees playing against the Nationals, I would have had a hard time picking the Nationals. But the Nationals match up so well against
really
the
do.
Astros. And so if we would have had this conversation last week, I would have told you I'm picking the Nationals in 6. And the fact that they've gotten off to such a hot start really pisses me off that I didn't get that out on recording prior to this.
see, I don't even know what's the series even at.
It's 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0?
Nationals are up, and they
Holy
beat
Wiped
the
them
shit.
yesterday.
It was like
Oh
12-2.
What?
12, yeah.
Oh my
Or
goodness!
11-2, 12-2.
Yeah, it was-
Who'd they throw? Who was throwing?
Oh,
Well, for the
It was
Astros, it was
Verlander.
Verlander.
What? Verlander got rocked for 12, or was it?
They put up. He didn't put up that much. They got
Nah,
6 or 7 runs in like the 6th inning.
Jesus Christ! Whew.
Yeah. So
What is that? That's like 8 or 6, 8 wins in a row for the
Yeah.
Nationals. 7
so
8
they,
wins.
They got Anibal Sanchez throwing against Greinke tomorrow night.
Oof.
So, yeah, man, it's a crazy series. Like, I would have not guessed it was going to start off 2-0, but it was 12-3 was the final score last night.
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
Verlander gave up 4 runs through 6 innings, and the Nationals exploded for 6 runs in the 7th. And they won by a lot.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm done with baseball. It's been a tough decade for us. The Padres haven't had a winning season. The last time the Yankees won the World Series in 2009, like, it's been a tough decade.
Tough decade for baseball.
Yeah, it's been, and the Chargers left in that time.
It's been a
Like,
tough franchise.
the Canucks have
for the
been in a
Padres.
rebuild.
My girlfriend moved to San Jose.
My girlfriend moved to San Jose. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I got some issues right now, guys.
I needed a fucking win. I needed a win. But yeah, and then this news comes down the line. Padres hired Jayce Tingler. I mean, I'm not as mad at it as I want to be. You know, like,
Right.
I want to be upset at them hiring a no-name guy. In a sense, it is like, It's the Padres. What did I expect? But in the other hand, it's how we've been talking about last week, how Tingler kind of fits this role. Him and Preller have that history together, so I don't know. But overall, what do you guys' thoughts? What do you take?
I was actually listening to Ben and Woods this morning on my way to work for a little bit, and they brought up a very valid point. Preller is going to be – this is his last shot.
Yes, 100%.
This is – he's not going to have another opportunity if it doesn't go better this season.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing is if your job is on the line – because if you get fired from being a Padres GM, there's not going to be a whole lot of other GM opportunities for you to be a top-of-the-line executive in Major League Baseball. Your phone's not going to be ringing for another GM position.
Right.
Yeah.
If that's your situation – you're hiring the person that you think is going to give you the best opportunity to win. So I think with that point, on top of the fact that if you look at most of the managerial candidates that have been hired over the last few years, not a lot of them have experience. And they want younger guys that understand and can appreciate the analytics of the game.
My only argument to that is that the younger guys that have been hired are more or less ex-players for that ball club.
And the thing is, if you look at Jayce Tingler's resume, obviously it doesn't stick out to somebody like an Alex Cora or an Aaron Boone or a Dave Roberts or a Mark Loretta or any of these coaches that have been hired. But it speaks to the development inside of the Padres organization. And people will make arguments left and right that once a player gets to the major league level that they stop developing. And I would say that statement is false because we constantly see players continue to develop. And with the Padres organization, we've seen players plateau at a very young age. This guy he's coached in the Dominican Republic. Most of our roster is coming from the leagues that he's been successful in. The Rangers obviously haven't been successful as of late, but they come from a winning culture, and he's somebody that Preller trusts. And like I've said, week in and week out, Preller to this point has not done anything that I don't trust.
Yeah,
so
right.
If his guy is, obviously they weren't going to get a Madden, they weren't going to get a Girardi. If it was between Ron Washington and Tingler, I would side in the fact that Tingler makes the most sense for the ball club right now because it's younger guys that don't need a workhorse of a Ron Washington barking at them how to do things, but they need somebody that's going to educate them and teach them where baseball is going.
Yeah, and you just hope that he has that ability to do that because, the hire where, it looks good in the sense of AJ Preller has this history with him. He trusts him, what he's done in, foreign baseball leagues, his ability to continue to work through, the dugout and all that kind of stuff. But in the same sense, is he really there because Preller trusts him or because he can control him?
Both. I think it's absolutely both. And I don't think that there's a single manager that's been hired in the last couple of years that's not being controlled by the GM. Dave Roberts has a job right now. He didn't get fired because the general manager knows that it's on him. The ball club that was rolled out there, didn't match up well against Washington. And it's the same ball club that we talked about at the trade deadline that needed to make moves in the bullpen and in the starting rotation. And they did not. They lost it at the trade deadline. I know that they lost the game in October, but they lost the season at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I
agree.
It's
the same thing that happened with the Yankees.
Yankees lost at the trade deadline.
You can't blame Aaron Boone. You look at the Astros and look at the Nationals. To a certain extent, yeah.
To a degree, there's things he could have done.
But there's also weapons that they could have acquired that would have made the situation a lot easier for him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But when a player or a team goes out and gets a player like Zach Greinke to add to an already star-studded rotation, and and we all knew it was going to come down to the Yankees and the Astros. Yeah. You got to match it. You have to, and they didn't. And it turned into a bullpen game.
They could easily do it, too.
They could have.
So.
It turned into a bullpen game in Game 6, and the Astros were all about it because we're like, we have 2 games to play with here.
Yeah.
And
that game was so disappointing. I thought they had them, too. But through
I was scared
through four innings, they went through 5 pitchers. Come on.
I was on the edge of my seat that whole game.
God,
and I was, screaming in my house.
But, Ryan, like you said, this is kind of AJ Preller's last chance if Tingler can't produce and can't prove himself that his head's on the chopping block. What's your outlook on this season?
And they're definitely giving him they're giving him a fair chance too, because this is they pretty much said that it's like, oh, if they hired someone like Ron Washington, it was going to be because that's what Fowler said, and but giving someone like Tingler an option, that they're like really giving Preller
the reins.
The reins, exactly. And so it's just like,
I think what's your outlook on it before?
And a lot. I mean, you also have to remember this person isn't going to determine whether or not they're winning or losing. What's going to determine whether they're winning or losing is filling the holes that they have. And I think that's the biggest part, is the Padres aren't looking at this like we have a good team that's going to go out and win right now. They're hiring a guy because they know they have to go get some pieces. They have holes in the outfield. They have holes behind the plate. You know, they're unsure about what they're doing at second base. The only solidified positions are third base, shortstop, and first base. Right. Outside of that, there's holes all over the field. So Preller has to, get busy in this offseason, and he's got to go shear up the starting rotation. He needs to go find some reputable outfielders who can get on base and manufacture runs. So the outlook is still yet to be determined for me. Whether or not it was Ron Washington or Tingler or Loretta, whoever ended up being, is not going to determine from right now. They have a lot of work to do this offseason. It's trending in the right direction because players are interested in coming to San Diego now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been preaching Padres 2020 since the start of this podcast. So, yeah, I mean, overall, with moves being made, what do you want to see? I guess what do you expect out of this next season? It's like we have a ton of development.
Definitely
There's a
need
ton of minor leagues
presence in the rotation.
Yeah, I think a veteran presence in the starting rotation leads huge to what we need. But at the same time, it's like we have that in our dugout on the lineup with Hosmer, Machado, Tatis. Even when he comes back, he changes the way that whole team plays. With Renfroe up for a Gold Glove this season.
Yeah, you see his Renfroe, and then catcher, you see Hedges. It's just like two players that there's huge question marks on.
Do you expect? I guess I'm more or less asking. Like, do you expect that we're gonna have a winning season finally?
I think that it's gonna come down to what kind of money the Padres decide to spend. I know everybody's been high on them going out and getting a Jarrett Cole or a Steven Strasburg, but I would much rather them utilize that money and be able to get more quality players.
Right.
I think that's going to make them competitive right away. Going out there and finding maybe like a Zach Wheeler or a Michael Pineda or Jose Quintana, like those guys are going to come out at a lot less.
Right.
And then looking at like some of the outfielders, a Starling Marte or a Marcell Ozuna, like people that aren't going to cost as much as spending, $30 million a year for the next 5 years for a pitcher or $30 million a year for the next 10 years for an outfielder.
Right.
I don't think that that's the way that this team needs to be built. I think they need to spend this money uniquely in order to field a reputable ball club.
Right. There's like the two options. You either just throw cash at the issue, like you have the Yankees and the Dodgers, who we are in the division with, or you have to play that smart ball. And so, of course, doing the smart budgeting and whatnot, that can obviously backfire. So, obviously they have to pick the pieces correct.
And we saw it this past year when they went after, who was the second baseman? Didn't work out.
Ian Kinsler.
So, it's not just about being smart with the money. It's about being smart with who you're bringing in. So that's why I look at players, like I said, like with Starling Marte, somebody that can come in right away. And my God, Taylor Trammell looked amazing in his playoff run. And everybody, I feel like, has just kind of said, "Oh, he's not going to be there on the starting lineup."
Dude
next
hit
year.
a grand slam in Game 5.
Yeah, those are options that need to be like at least thought about. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, the Padres are going to make the playoffs in 2020," because that would be a huge jump. But depending on how they decide, if they're smart with their acquisitions and they can get a couple good quality starting pitchers in that rotation, then the outlook is good.
Yeah, you definitely need to see progress. That really what it comes down to. Like, I don't know. Like they're not gonna capture that. They're not going to dethrone the Dodgers for the National League
They
West.
have good big chips. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Eric Hosmer. Like, those are good big pieces to have on your roster.
Yeah, really just seeing like progress at the end of the year. Seeing a obviously better record.
500 ball club.
Well, we were expecting that this year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, other baseball news. Phillies hire Joe Girardi as their head coach. I don't know. I couldn't think of the word of what that is. And then Cubs hire ex-catcher David Ross.
Yeah, again.
Which was an interesting move in itself.
That's what I mean, man.
I felt like this was like when the...
So why do they hire David Ross? Because they can control him.
Yeah. But I felt like it was like when Craig Counsell got hired. It was just like, why would you pick that guy?
Well, yeah,
it's also like they have a rapport with the organization
and with the
fan base.
And I was gonna say it's a sexy pick for the fan base.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like we talked about last week. If the Padres go out and hire Mark Loretta, it's not like everybody's gonna be screaming at the top of their lungs. Like we get more Dodgers fans here than freaking
half
Padres
the people don't
fans.
even know who Mark Loretta is.
Exactly.
Didn't he go with like he took like a coaching position?
He was with the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was like Phil Nevin was getting tossed around too, and no one knows who he is. They only know him as the third base coach for the Yankees. It was like,
yeah, he's the best home run hitter when you're down by 10 or up by 10.
Solo shot. All right, well, let's move into the NFL. I want to skip this first one. I just thought it was funny because
I just saw that.
I was trying to read it.
Because Jalen Ramsey had missed so much time when he was with the Jaguars. You remember his back was out, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to go visit my pregnant girlfriend." Apparently, that girl is Golden Tate's sister. So the Lions, is he on the Lions now?
No,
he got traded to Giants.
Giants.
The Giants.
He's playing against you, Dean.
Wide receiver. Yeah, I just thought that was really funny. That it was just a little TMZ news. But anyways, yeah, we had a lot of some big injuries this week. Kerryon Johnson and Josh Gordon placed on the injured reserve list. Kerryon Johnson's not coming back to at least week 16. Josh Gordon's an interesting case, though, because
he's probably going to be playing for a different team.
He can come back, but they can. They look like they're trading him. The 49ers are big talks. It's just kind of an interesting thing going on over there.
Did you see that
they acquired Mohamed Sanu?
Yes,
from the Falcons, and I feel like now they're sitting there with Gordon, who's been kind of bothered with this injury for the last couple weeks, having the ability to potentially move him to another team. I just think it's ironic that the team that's 7-0 might trade him to another team that's 7-0.
That's very funny. Yeah, like you said, Ryan, a lot of trades, unlike our fantasy team or fantasy league, which is opposed to trades. But we had the Raiders trading away their cornerback, Gareon Clowney, the Texans. Ryan, as you mentioned, the Falcons traded away Mohamed Sanu to the Patriots for, I think it's a second-round pick in 2020. And then the Broncos trade Emmanuel Sanders to the 49ers for a third and fourth round in 2020. This was a weird one for me, I thought. The Lions trading away their cornerback Quandre Diggs to the Seahawks for a 2020 fifth-round pick.
Yeah, that one was weird.
That was just weird because the Lions are continually saying that they're still competitive. So if you're competitive, you're going to trade away your top, like your starting safety, the guy that's played the most snaps on your team.
Absolutely.
That was weird.
Unless they have their eye set on someone else that's on that trade blog, but
it's just a weird thing to do. And then, as of today, this morning, Patriots trade away their defensive end Michael Bennett to the Cowboys for a 2021 conditional pick in the 7th round.
Is there another team in the NFL that trades for more 7th round picks than the Patriots?
No.
I feel like every year they have like 4 or 5 picks in the 7th round.
I feel like they have a weird loophole because they always have conditional picks too.
Right.
And I'm like, do you know something we don't? Like, if you combined enough, do you have all the stones?
Right.
Like
well, the
Thanos,
whole conditional drafting.
It's dependent on how the player plays. Yeah. It's very odd.
It's weird.
The Patriots are very big on the intentional or whatever conditional picks. And
does this one clear up like cap space? Because that's like a big thing. Like obviously there was butting heads with Michael. The Bennett brothers in general. They're
too woke.
Yeah, they're too woke for
the Patriots.
For the Patriots. So I'm sure there was
the other one, the tight end, right?
Marcellus. Yeah.
But Michael Bennett in general, he's the one that like faked the whole Las Vegas that he was getting attacked by a cop or something like that.
Yeah.
Once they released footage, it was proved otherwise. So yeah, I'm sure like he's talented. So I mean, it's definitely it might work out for the Cowboys, even though they got their hands full with all these different characters that have all their different issues. So I mean, if they get that
maybe
it could work out for them.
Maybe the Cowboys are a stepping stone to the UFC. Because Michael Hardy paid for the Cowboys and he went to the UFC. Michael Bennett, head case goes there, plays for. I don't know.
Right.
It's a long stretch, but no, I agree. I thought this was a weird trade too, just in the sense of. I mean, the Patriots' defense has been the number one defense all year.
Yeah, Michael Bennett.
I can see it also being like
though.
an F you to him because he's been outspoken about his issues with the Patriots and how he's kind of like butted heads with them. So I'm sure
you butt heads with the Patriots, you play for the Browns.
The fact that you get traded for
who was that happened to?
The linebacker.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I can't remember who it is, but yeah, that happened to him.
He's on there. He's back on their team now.
He wanted more money. Yeah.
Mingo.
He wanted more money.
Marcavius Mingo.
Mingo.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. The Emmanuel Sanders trade actually looks pretty good for the 49ers and the Broncos.
And my fantasy team.
Yeah. The one area that the 49ers have struggled in is their wide receiver corps.
Yeah.
Like it's been, pretty thin. And I'm not.
Yeah, you're working with Curtis, what is it? Debo Samuel, and Pettis. It's like
nobody really solidified themselves as the number one. And so Emmanuel Sanders at least comes in and brings some experience to a very, very young receiving corps. And I feel like it might not benefit him statistically, but it's going to benefit the offense for sure.
That's the thing with both of these trades. I think they're very beneficial in the real world. In as far as fantasy goes, I think these have no impact at all. I don't think each one of those players, or even maybe for the Broncos, some of their wide receivers will get a couple more looks.
I think it affects me
Falcons,
because Courtland Sutton's going to get the best cornerback every week now.
Well,
he's a stud.
For the Falcons, I don't think that's going to change anything. For like I have Calvin Ridley. I don't really think Calvin Ridley is going to take off all of a sudden.
No.
They just play different positions.
Yeah, they were loaded. The Falcons were loaded. This was a necessary move.
Hooper's just going to get the ball more.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Do you have Austin Hooper or is it DJ?
No, it's
DJ has him. No, but if watching that, what was it, last Thursday night game with Bronco, that was just. They're talking about they're going to probably just scrap Chris Harris Jr. and possibly Von Miller,
it's so sad because like there's some huge defensive pieces on that roster.
Yeah.
And Chris Harris, that dude is one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah, but I mean they're not contending for anything this year.
Yeah. Could that Joe Flacco deal backfired anymore for them? Like he looks like he forgot how to play football.
It was sad. He was just hucking the ball. He was like my brother.
I know he doesn't have a great offensive line, but my God,
Well, he has that face just to begin with. That is just like that.
You gotta be careful. It's Dean's boy.
That's your boy.
A
few years ago, they were talking about this guy's a walk-in Hall of Famer.
That's how. Yeah, and he just. I mean,
now he's in the conversation with Eli Manning.
The Broncos are where quarterbacks go to die. It happened with Peyton Manning. Happened with
after he got him a Super Bowl.
Happened with Tim Tebow. Now it's happening with
people are calling for John Elway's head right now.
These are 3 straight Hall of Famers. I mean, you got Peyton Manning, Tim Tebow, and Joe Flacco. All in the same talks.
We saw Case Keenum take off with the Vikings.
Right.
He spends 1 year in Denver, and what happened?
Yeah.
Right.
What happened?
Must be that high altitude or something.
Right.
Something's legal over there.
That high altitude.
Yeah, week 7, we'll review the games we previously highlighted. The Texans, Colts. What you want to say?
I called it.
Yeah,
I called it. I said that the Colts look good in this matchup, and everybody's been super low on Jacoby Brissett all year, and I mean he looks good.
I was reading when I heard that, Ryan. I was like, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, like
the Texans are just one of those teams that.
It's like the Chargers, man.
Yeah, exactly. They're like the Chargers a couple years ago. Like now, the Chargers.
Well, not this year, but like how the Chargers have looked when the Chargers are good.
Yeah, people are always just like, "This is a lock-in for the Texans," and you're just like, "No."
Then they'll go out and beat a team like the Packers or something like that, and then they're like, or like the Bears, and you're like, "What happened? Like, you decided to play this week?"
It's Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien just doesn't know how to scheme against bad team. Like, he just doesn't know what to do. He gets too excited with himself. He has Deshaun Watson do some stupid shit. Plus, I mean, that defense, that secondary, like, I understand why they made some moves that they had made at the like during this trade series or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, it's just like that D line's good. The linebackers, Merciless is getting a little old, so
I'm telling you,
they're
missing Jadeveon Clowney right about now.
They are for sure. 49ers, Redskins.
What a dud.
This was our pick of the week, and I was nervous for a second because we picked the 49ers, and I was like, it was a weird game, rain game, super fun for kids and stuff like that. But yeah,
just the weirdest football
it's fun to
game.
go playing. It was just a weird game.
Yeah, you get a lot of cool. There was a lot of cool pictures.
And they were up by like 6
mud over everyone, and
they're up like 6-0 for the longest time. And you're like, this is not good.
Well, it ended up being 9-0.
Yeah,
which was just weird.
But as soon as they got that last field goal, you're like, all right, we're good. Like, they're not scoring twice.
This was like a women's World Cup game.
Whoa.
I mean, the U.S. women was like 14-0.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Like,
gotcha.
9-0. That's not
like
a
soccer
score. I was trying to give props to the U.S. women's.
I
was going to say more of a baseball score.
That.
Baseball? Okay, I'll give you baseball score.
I got
the
you.
Nationals are playing in the division series. But yeah, still, it was just... It was a weird game overall.
It's funny how they pitched a shutout and they won, but they still didn't cover the spread.
What was it?
The 49ers were a 10-point favorite.
Ooh. Oh, man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Ryan, you want to take...
No.
This one?
I see what's next on the...
Chargers, Titans?
No, we missed one.
Let's just
we
say...
didn't. Yeah, no, I was just
I just want to say
one.
thank you to Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he saved my fantasy week last week, so, I mean, thank you.
He didn't save me from drinking myself into...
What do you want me to say? Like, I'm losing interest in the Chargers.
Chargers are finding every single way to, like... And it's said by every single analyst, every single talk show, it's
the same shit every single year.
The Chargers will find the most random ways to lose a game.
It's new
How
every time.
How do you lose this game?
First of all, like, shout out to the Titans because they were the clear winners of this game. Like, the team who played better won. So, congratulations to them because they deserve this victory. But when teams give you wins, when you only get 16 opportunities in the regular season, it is your job to take those. I give a lot of props to Phillip Rivers for bringing this team back and putting them in a position to win. I give a lot of credit to Anthony Lynn. I think the coach is a grinder, and he constantly keeps this team in a position to come back. I mean, I know everybody's off after his head after every single game that they lose, but every time that they get down big in a game, they always find a way to come back. And last year we saw it several times, like 5 or 6 games where they won it in like the last 30 seconds of the game, and they haven't been going in their favor. But what this basically says to me is that the Chargers were right the entire time to not pay Melvin Gordon. He's averaging less than 2 yards a carry right now. He cannot shake a tackler to save his life. And when he's out there, the offense becomes one-dimensional. So I don't know if, Joey Bosa's playing outside of his mind. He's doing fantastic. The defense is still, they're not playing great, but they're putting the Chargers in a position to win. The offense can't do anything. I think Ken Wisenhunt is probably, 1 or 2 losses away from losing his job.
I want to just, I want to take back what I said about Phillip Rivers. Because he did.
What did you say about Phillip Rivers?
He looked lost in that Week 6 matchup against who'd they lose to Week 6?
The Steelers.
The Steelers. He looked lost there. And coming back this week, he was putting the balls where the wide receivers needed to be, and they just couldn't get there. whether it was Mike Williams or Keenan Allen.
You got to command the
or
guy
Hunter Henry.
whenever he puts the balls where they need to go.
Well, he's just putting them right on the sideline. You know what I mean? It's not his fault that these guys can't extend.
Put him up the middle, but
yeah. Well, you kept calling yourself the tight end, but I don't think so.
But the Chargers are a joke. They got, the Bears this week, the Packers the week after that.
I think they're gonna win this week. I'm not gonna. The Bears have been a team that I've been very.
The Bears are on
your twin over there,
and the Chargers are a streaky
Don't call
team.
him who? Mitchell Trubisky?
Yeah, he looks like you with the helmet on.
Are you serious?
I mean, you should be wearing a helmet normally, but
you're calling me Andy Dalton one year, and now Mitchell. Can I be a good quarterback for once?
Nope.
Jesus Christ, that is so disrespectful. The disrespect, I can't believe it.
No,
Well, yeah, the Bears lose to the Saints this week. Teddy Bridgewater is undefeated. What? Show me.
He kind of does.
I mean,
it's in the eyes.
Come on, guys.
It's not a terrible thing. He's not a bad-looking dude.
I feel like I look so young there.
Oh my goodness, how dare I look like a starting stud quarterback?
I wish I looked like Jimmy G so I could have a 6-page,
he's
porn star going on.
Well, yeah,
dates.
I've done my research on that girl, but
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Oh, what'd you think I was gonna say?
I don't want to say it. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater undefeated as the starter, going up against the Bears. I mean, it's hard to bet against Teddy right now. He's showing out. The Bears though are just looking atrocious. I don't even know what's going on with them. Defense still looks good, but Mitchell. I don't know.
Mitchell.
I'm not picking this game. I refuse. I'm staying away from this.
Chargers.
And then our last highlighted game of last week was the Ravens and the Seahawks. Ravens pulled this one out. It wasn't as competitive as we all thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to come down to the wire. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's week 7. Let's go week 8. Highlighted week 8 games. Rams and Bengals. I only did this one because it is the London game.
Bengals are winning this one. No, I'm kidding.
Anything can happen in London.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Bengals are still defeated, so who knows? This might be their week. This one, never mind.
I mean, the Rams haven't been the team that they haven't. Yeah, they're not the team that we expected.
Very true.
I mean. But I still am going to roll with the Rams on that one.
Yeah. Chargers, Bears. This one we were just talking about, a little bit sketchy. The Bears have been questionable.
At home, man. It's Bears defense at home with a team that's been turning the ball over too much against a team that capitalizes on your mistakes. I know that the Bears offense has been fumbling around as well. I'm going to pick a low-scoring game. Keenan Allen's not participating in practice right now. He's out with Melvin Ingram, who's limited.
Don't say that about Keenan Allen. I have him. I need him this week.
No, I don't.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to play, but, it's...
I see a lot. They need to lean on my boy Austin Eckler.
No.
Definitely.
I wouldn't even start him this week in
fantasy.
If I was a smart man, I wouldn't start him in fantasy this week. That's the dumbest move.
One thing that is true about the Chargers, it's that they need to go back to Austin Eckler.
Yes.
It's not that he's a better running back than Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, hasn't been a good runner.
It's that their offense is more versatile when he's in the lineup.
Dude, I'm trying to get into his head.
I know you are, but I'm talking about the football game.
You're not in my head. We're talking real life.
I'm not even saying that Austin Eckler is going to put up a shit ton of points or yards. I'm saying that when he's on the field and you have to account for him, it allows you to move the ball down the field.
I definitely agree.
It opens up Keenan Allen more. It opens up Hunter Henry more. And with Melvin Gordon in there, and that he's going to get 2 yards per carry.
Right. I mean, especially with the line just constantly losing pieces and stuff, it's just going to be harder and harder for him to run the ball. So it's having someone that's versatile, which I feel like Austin Eckler is a more.
I'm really glad they didn't pay him.
Yeah.
Smart. Talk about someone that just bet on themselves and it just not working out.
Hard.
It's gonna be interesting to see where he goes next year.
Yep.
Yeah. This one, next game up, 49ers at the Panthers. What's his name? Panthers starting quarterback now?
Allen?
Yeah. Luke Allen? Wait, Luke Allen?
Not Luke Allen.
No. What's his name?
Ryan? No, we're not Ryan Allen.
No. We went to high school with a guy named Ryan Allen.
Maybe you went to high school with this guy.
I definitely don't think so.
Allen guy. It's
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen, yeah.
Still yet to throw an interception this year.
That's, yeah.
Well, just wait.
Wanted to bring it up for that reason because he hasn't thrown an interception this year. 49ers,
Still undefeated.
Still undefeated.
That's going to be a fun game. I'm
picking the Panthers.
Woo!
Going Panthers
I'm going
after
Panthers.
the 49ers add a new wide receiver, new piece.
I'm
out
going
there.
with the Panthers. I'm rocking with Christian McCaffrey. And
my gosh, talk about a guy that you just...
He's a great matchup against this defense who has been all
White
over
man
the place
can't
this year.
jump, but they sure as hell can run. But
I like the Panthers at home this week. I think at some point the 49ers have to lose, and why not this week?
All right. I mean, that's a bold statement, but I agree. Is there any news when Cam Newton's coming back? Is he ever coming back?
that's something that they were talking about. Is like,
Can I get you a number?
There's a lot of people that are requesting a possible. They're inquiring about Mr. Cam Newton, which would be interesting. Like
That is very interesting. Next game up, Texans at Raiders. This one's interesting because this is like a ultimate disrespect game for what's his name that they just traded for Gareon Clowney.
Gareon Clowney, yeah.
This is the ultimate disrespect game. Like, hey, we're gonna trade you, and then we're gonna have you play against us. Like, you can't beat us at all. So
the Texans are gonna win this game by 20 points. Everybody's so high on the Raiders right now, and I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it on the defensive side of the ball. And as long as Derek Carr is your quarterback, I don't see it on the offensive side.
I think it's just Josh Jacobs has been
he's been good.
Been running the ball, and
he's been really good. He's a great asset, but this is a quarterback-driven league.
John Gruden's just been game planning for each person, and he's putting Carr in beneficial situations.
He's ready to get rid of. He can't wait until.
But he's calling plays that are good for Carr, or within his realm.
Carr's got no real role in this offense, and he's the quarterback. I mean, as of right now, he's throwing for a lot of yards. He has 8 touchdown passes in the first 6 games that he's played, along with 4 interceptions.
That's so weird though, because he lives right next door to John Gruden. So it's like that's gonna be
best friends.
That's gonna be very interesting after the end of this year.
Another one, I just feel like it's going to be a close game. Bucks at Titans. I know the Titans had
I think the Bucks got this one.
I mean, we'll see.
I'm going Titans.
I'm going Titans.
I'm rolling Titans.
Eagles, Bills. I got to go Bills here. Bills at home. Bills rolling tough.
But is this the Bills that so many years, I look back on the past 10 years, and so many years the Bills start off really hot.
This is a playoff team, Bills right here.
Gosh, I never thought I was going to be alive.
They're going to make the playoffs. They're 6-1. It's irrelevant. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yes.
The Bills are going to be there. The Bills are going to lose to the Eagles this week, though. I can freaking guarantee it. There's too much firepower on the offensive side of the ball. They have too many weapons, and Peterson is not losing 2 weeks in a row.
All right. Bold statement from Ryan.
I'm all about the bold statement. There's one game that you missed, my friend.
What game is that?
That is the Packers and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Gosh, this game was going to be so much better if it... There's so many primetime games that just have...
This is
a
crazy.
True testament to what the Chiefs are without Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's the crazy part, is that there are rumors that he's going to play this week.
I think it's just
if they play him, I mean, he's practicing, and I know that. I think that this is the dumbest thing that the Chiefs organization can do.
100% agree.
I mean, we don't even have to get into detail about how stupid this is. The dude dislocated his knee. He's already been having ankle issues. Let the dude rest.
Yeah.
But it's a true testament to what this football team can do without Patrick Mahomes. And the world wants to see that. I mean, they beat down the Broncos last week, which nobody gives a shit about.
Right.
But now they're playing against the Packers, who have a defense this year and have arguably the best quarterback, talent-wise, in the league on the other side of the ball.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. That's going to be a great matchup. I can't believe I missed it.
I'm still going Packers on that one.
And then, the last one, I didn't put it up there just to touch on. Monday Night Football, Dolphins, Steelers.
Oh, I've been waiting for this game. Oh, yeah. That's actually going to be an interesting game.
It's going to be an interesting game. It's just like, it's not entertaining. You know what I mean? It's not like, there's no implications there. It's just a good game.
I might go Dolphins on that one.
So this has
been
been
the
our
Bengal. I don't know.
I tried to pick the Dolphins last week against the Bills, and it looked good for a little while until the Dolphins turned into the Dolphins. I'm going Steelers.
I got to go Steelers as well. So our stay defeated segment, Dolphins and Bengals. Which one's staying defeated this week? I got to go with both.
Yeah, I mean,
like
you said, the only thing that the hiccup here is that they're playing in London, and we've seen crazy shit happen in London.
Yeah.
But the Rams are not a bad. Like they have so much offensive firepower, and the Bengals can't do anything on offense. So Jalen Ramsey is going to be lining up at cornerback just like he did last week, and whoever their number one is this week is going to get shut down.
Yep, I agree. And then stay undefeated. Patriots, 49ers. I got to go both. I mean, both are going to stay undefeated this week. I mean, the 49ers going against the Panthers.
Who do you see staying undefeated longer?
The Patriots. I think the 49ers are losing to the Panthers this week.
Because the Patriots play the Browns this week, and then, the rest of their schedule seems pretty light as well. So,
how many interceptions does Baker Mayfield throw this week is the real question.
Ooh. Hopefully.
Over-under on 3.
Hopefully none.
Over-under on 3.
The barrier.
Oh, wait. This is going to be the super high-scoring game. The Browns are going to put up at least 40, and no interceptions or anything like that.
Even though I
no
have
sacks.
the New England
zero
defense,
sacks.
I wouldn't mind seeing. We discussed this previous to the podcast, but this season I feel like just the product has just not been up to par. Like,
I agree.
If there wasn't fantasy football, I would definitely be tuning out most Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, just because I'm just haven't been pleased with what I've been seeing. I mean, and there's a lot of focus on antics that go outside of the field and whatnot, but just I don't know. There's a lot of crappy teams out there.
Yeah, I agree. Enrique, if you don't know, we're in a pick'em league by Run Your Pool. What is our lock of the week this week?
You didn't pick the Vikings?
No, I haven't picked the Vikings. Thursday night games,
Dolphins. I'm kidding.
I don't know. I'm going Saints this week. I think Saints over Cardinals.
I don't know about that.
That's my pick.
I don't know about that.
Well, what is your pick of the week?
Especially like a lot of people have been like looking at a lot of people bring up the metrics for the whole year for the Cardinals, but they have Patrick Peterson back, which obviously is like one of their best defensive player.
Too.
Yeah, but I mean when they look at like this team, the Cardinals have
Drew Brees plays. It's a lock.
Ooh, I don't know. But
I'm already high as hell on
he's
Teddy
definitely
Bridgewater,
anxious to get out there. He's seeing how well that Teddy Bridgewater's playing.
Who have we used?
We have used the Chargers, Eagles, Seahawks, 49ers, and the Chiefs.
Steelers.
Steelers over the Dolphins?
Gotta be. I mean, close matchups. I mean, Falcons, Seahawks. I would love to say the Seahawks, but I can't. Bills, Eagles. It's a good matchup. Bears, Chargers. Another good matchup.
Yeah.
Lions, Giants. I mean, you could pick the Lions in this one. I mean, to be honest,
I would roll with the Lions on that.
But Saquon Barkley, you never know what he could do in a game now that he's back. You could probably go Colts over Broncos.
Yeah, actually,
but
that might be
like Jags, Jets, 49ers, Panthers, Texans, Raiders. Like, there's some good matchups and some unpredictable stuff. If you're looking at the lines,
tonight was like a 16-point.
Yeah, I'm picking Steelers.
We've never done a Thursday night.
Well, you're right, exactly, because it's happening as we're discussing.
Yeah.
But just looking at like the the score currently, it's like, yeah, they're not covering that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll do Steelers this week.
All right.
All right. I got the stat of the day this week, and I went on a little rant earlier about how I'm not watching the World Series, but I went with a World Series stat.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, dabba-doo-ba-doo, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day. Bop.
So in 1986, Danny Heap became the first player in the World Series with to be a designated hitter with the initials DH. So I just thought that was a funny little thing.
Kind of ironic.
Can I give you a little side dish to go with your stat of the day?
Yeah.
Patriots are playing. Their Patriots defense is playing out of their mind this year. Passer rating versus the Patriots defense this year is 35.6. Passer rating if the quarterback were to spike the ball every play, 39.6.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Enrique wins.
Enrique with the stat of the day. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just playing out of their minds. I hate the argument too that people say like, well, the Patriots aren't that good. They're not the best team in the league because they really haven't played
they're
anybody.
talking about like this next slate of like 4 games is really going to be the test to see how
like
it works
what they can
out.
do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like their week-to-week matchups, like yeah, they haven't really played anybody too big, but at the same time, it's the way they're playing these teams.
No, it's just
that puts
they're
them
just
above,
annihilating them. It's not like they're playing to their opponent. They're just crushing them.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I would have never put money on the fact that the Patriots' defense would have been this good.
No, especially after last season, the way their secondary was just giving up stuff and their run game. But yeah. Anyways, Enrique, thank you so much for joining us, being our sub while Brandon's out, having fun at Disneyland.
It's nice to like see what the second best podcast is doing from time to time.
That's all bad.
So, I mean, that's why you guys aren't doing a podcast this week,
know.
but it's okay.
It's fine, because I'm shutting down shop, so it's
The
fine.
best podcast in San Diego does weekly podcasts every Thursday, release it on Fridays if I'm not feeling lazy.
No,
if I'm not feeling lazy.
You were talking about some of your stats and your metrics and whatnot a podcast or two ago, and I think a lot of it has to do is you release these. You're sporadic with how you release them. There's been a lot of like Saturday, Sunday. No one releases a podcast on Sunday.
I know, it's just if I'm feeling lazy.
Jesus sleeps or whatever, and podcasts aren't supposed to be released. So I always enjoy listening to you Friday afternoon.
That's when I try to release them Friday afternoons for your drive. The drive at 5.
You shouldn't have shit to do.
I have a job. I work.
So do I.
Yeah, but you're freelance.
No,
you're not in an office anymore.
No, I haven't.
You don't work it for the accounting job anymore.
No, but I still work for a family-run automotive shop.
It's
so,
your family. It's not. It's not.
That's fine.
Anyways, everybody, we will be back next week. Hopefully, full strength with Brandon back. But again,
full strength?
Enrique, thank you so much.
I'm kidding. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back next week. Again, follow us everywhere on social media and listen to us anywhere you have podcasts. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Peace.